Meeting in the Skies brought to you by Skies Hotel and Shiyaya Tourists.
Meeting in the Skies. Meeting in the Skies.
Guys, welcome back to the Skies. Today we have this beautiful view over the city from the rooftop.
Today we're really in the skies, right?
Oh, all the way. There's skies in every direction.
Funny thing, I read a tweet today from, I don't remember who it was, complaining that her friends came for dinner and couldn't see the view that had been doing the rounds purportedly from the Naguru skies. And the great part of that tweet was the responses where people was asking, exactly where did your friends go? Because we all know that that view exists in many places at Naguru Skies Hotel.
I also wonder,
challenge.
maybe they came at night? They were hoping to see hills through the darkness? I don't know.
Actually, the view was the lit up Kampala city view. So of course you're going to see it if you come here at night.
Yeah, you also see.
Well, let's have everybody come to Naguru Skies anytime they want to catch Kampala's beauty.
Ah, it is nice. You know what's really nice? The way the mist kind of rolls over those hills, but it's probably not mist, huh? It's probably like smog or something.
It might be mist, by the way. Kampala is very good at mist. Speaking of which, the weather this week. Huh?
Oh, it's so nice. It's been so hot. I felt like I was sweating constantly. And I think I was also a bit ill, and so it just made me feel more ill.
Yeah.
But once the rain started a bit, and it
Nobody's
cooled down,
complaining about the rain for once, but then give it a few more weeks and then you'll hear all the nonsense.
So is this the beginning of rainy season?
I don't think it's the actual beginning of the rainy season, but it's heralding the rains. The rains are going to be coming up in the next 2-3 weeks. Proper rains. Yeah. It's a great thing. We're tired of the heat, tired of the sun. It's time to plant fresh crops, prepare for food and harvest ahead. Yay!
You know what though? I think Ugandans are like overly sensitive to temperature changes, because in Canada we have maybe 60 degrees of temperature change throughout
60
the year.
degrees?
Throughout an average year. It can be more, because it will go up to 30 degrees in the summer.
For how long?
I mean, maybe a month or so.
Exactly, for just 1 month.
But it goes all the way down to minus
Minus.
30, even minus 40 in the winter as well, you know?
Canada is dismal. It's really dismal. And we're happy that Canadians have discovered that they can come to Uganda to enjoy life.
So
Under good
true. Thank
weather.
you very much. Thanks for that. So what have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to? Recycling.
Oh, yeah.
Recycling plastics, yeah, stepped up that a lot. We've gotten a few more partnerships in place, so take a think. I've got requests. The last 5 days alone, I've had queries from 6 different countries.
Really?
Tell us how you're doing your plastics recycling, yeah.
So tell us, Simon, please.
Okay, here's the thing. I work for Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, and one of the subsidiaries under CCBA is Plastic Recycling Industries. Now, what Plastic Recycling Industries does is get as much of our plastic waste as possible, take it to our factory in Luganda. When I say our plastic waste, I'm talking about Ugandans.
Okay.
Take it to the factory in Nakawa, then chop it up into plastic flakes, which are washed and then processed.
Plastic flakes.
Plastic flakes, yeah. That's
Okay.
one of the components that goes to form resin and pellets, which is what people use to make plastic products.
Okay.
You see, because plastic is not degradable, it can be recreated, and that's best. Today a journalist asked me, don't you think it's better if we just ban these plastics? Like, Chief, that is national suicide. You don't ban plastics.
But people do burn plastics every day.
For lack of knowledge, they don't know better, you see. Now, one of the things that we're doing at PRI is increasing the number of partnerships in plastic collection so that more and more people send us their plastic waste so that we turn that into value. And we don't take it for free, we pay for the plastic. We pay for garbage. So, win-win. And the flakes go into making all manner of things. I've seen road surfaces, pavers, pipes, roofing tiles. Some people, create more cups, plates, bottles out of the flakes. We don't do that because we are providing food, and our food standards wouldn't let us bottle. For instance, this wonderful bottle of Renzori water can't be made from recycled plastics.
Oh.
No.
But it can be made into recycled plastics.
It is made into recycled plastics because once you've drunk this bottle, you give it back to us, and then we'll turn it into another plastic product.
So who buys the plastic that's recycled, and what do they make it into?
So, like I said, roofing tiles. We've got a client here in Uganda who buys plastic flakes to turn them into roofing tiles. The same company makes pipes. Another company came prospecting because they want to make bottle covers. They do plastic bottles. There's a company that is thinking about making furniture planks, lumber for furniture. And you can imagine plastic furniture, we have it everywhere.
Yeah.
But we're simply not making it in Uganda, yet we have the wherewithal to do so. And then there are some people who turn plastic into diesel fuel.
Really?
Yes. Some people turn plastic into road surfacing material, which is more durable than the tarmac that we're used to today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who is recycling? Like what big companies in Kampala right now can I
Plastic
go to
recycling
and know?
industries, that's us guys. Yeah, we're probably number one.
Where are you collecting from?
We have collection centers or in each division of Kampala. We've built collection centers in partnership with the Kampala Capital City Authority. We have one in Masaka. We're setting up others in Iganga, Jinja, Iganga, Kamuli, Mbale. We're talking to a partner who's setting one up in northern Uganda.
Okay.
We want collection centers in every district of Uganda.
So far it's like central and eastern Uganda is getting on
Central
this.
first, because
Okay.
it's right here.
Yeah.
And all other people are going to copy from what we're doing in Kampala. But then the rest of Africa is doing that as well. The requests that I'm talking about we received are from other African countries. So it's growing. And think about it. This stuff, when you walk around this hotel, Naguru Skies, the dustbins are split into two: recyclable, non-recyclable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're encouraged to drop your stuff in either of the two bins. Even our homes need to be like this.
I hear you. My house manager is so stubborn. I mean, I have so much respect for her, but my goodness, she will not easily do anything that I say, you know. She always has her own methodology about everything. So even plastic, you know, oh, but if we burn it, it's better to get this particular fire going or that kind of thing. And
Exactly.
I'm just,
Which is it's a myth.
Well, it seems to work. It's been working, right? But maybe she doesn't know the negative effects.
Yes, ignorance once again. I mean, I once had a cook who insisted on making luongo using plastic bags, kavera. Yeah, till I sat her down and explained to her that this was, you know, a potential creation of cancerous diseases. She still didn't get it and eventually had to lose her job pretty quickly too.
Ouch. Well, I wonder if we'll live in a future where if you don't listen to the needs of recyclers, then you lose your job. I mean, I've heard before that Africa and other like developing parts of the world are the worst hit by global warming, right?
Yeah.
And that any kind of garbage, especially burning things and putting that fumes into the air and everything, are what causes that global warming. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's life, but like I said, we will stop. Wakanda will fix it.
Guys, no spoilers on Black Panther. I'm a little late, but I'm going to watch it.
I haven't watched it yet either, so don't worry.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go tomorrow. I can't wait any longer. It's,
And then
it's
you're going to
everywhere.
start telling us?
No, of course I have to have respect, you know, treat those the way I would like to be treated and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, but what about Black Panther, eh?
Oh, my goodness. It's so exciting. It's just, it's had so much hype. I heard it had a very good opening weekend. What was it, like 100 and something million?
250 million in
Was
the
it?
US alone, yeah.
There you go. The highest ever with a black director, and that, I don't know exactly what it was, but basically it was a groundbreaking achievement, so.
Yeah, so kudos to them.
Yeah.
You haven't told us yet, how was your week?
My week. My week's been good. Last week I became a little bit ill. I was overworked, and so I went to the doctor, and they said that I'm developing ulcers. So what I had to
Ulcers?
do, yeah, I guess I don't eat frequently enough, and I work too much, and also what I
Remind me at one point to ask you about your weight addition diet. We need to talk about that.
yes, but I think what was happening. Well, I've read about. Do you know about cortisol? So the stress hormone. So when you're going all day long and you're trying to fix all of these problems and whatever, you're producing adrenaline and you're producing cortisol.
Yeah.
And that those chemicals mess up with your body. They put stress on your organs and they lower your immune system and they make you more likely to get sick.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to rise to any occasion. A crisis is an opportunity. I'm so excited by all the complications of the world, going fast, trying to get right into it. And a little bit of adrenaline and cortisol go into that. So it also, have you heard about the enteric nervous system?
the enteric nervous system. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the most nerves, I believe, from what I've read, and I'm not an expert in this, but I've been reading up on it. The most nerves are like your brain. You know, your brain tells the rest of your body what to do, and then it kind of travels through this nervous system to say, okay, now move your finger, or now you feel this pain, or whatever it is. So the second biggest bundle of nerves is in your stomach and your kind of digestive system. And that's why they say you have a gut feeling about things, because you really do. Your stomach starts acting up in a certain type of way. It's those nerves firing about if you feel afraid or stressed or in love or whatever, it's going to have an effect on your stomach. So with those two things together, the enteric nervous system and this buildup of cortisol, it can affect your appetite.
Your doctor told you all this?
No, of course I Googled it. You know what happened when I went to the doctor? Oh my goodness, you guys, doctors in Uganda. Okay, am I going to tell the craziest story of the craziest experience I ever had with a doctor in Uganda? Let me tell you just the experience I had first last week. So when I went, this doctor, says, okay, can we have these samples? We'll do tests. Very good. Sure, let me do that. And then he starts saying, by the way, could you be pregnant? And I said, no, I am certain that I am not pregnant. And then he asks why,
why?
What's wrong? You can't get a man, or why don't you, and I'm just like,
what?
Exactly. I was just thinking, guy, this is not your business, But
and then, so what did you respond?
I was a little bit, it's funny at the moment, like I was getting phone calls, someone was asking me to approve some artwork, I had to check my email, edit things. Meanwhile, there's a needle in my arm getting...
Just stop.
Yeah.
You're sitting in front of the doctor, taking phone calls, checking your email, right?
Yeah.
You guys were flirting.
Hey guys, why don't we meet in the skies? Meeting in the skies.
One-sided.
Medical visit. No.
But anyway,
Guys are crazy.
so this week was about learning a new way to do things. It was about having more yogurt in my diet. It was about getting a little bit more rest. It was about, learning.
Okay, for those who are listening, right now, I'm looking at 3 little cute buns that have been sitting here waiting for Anne to consume them for I don't know how long. Yeah, finally she's
all right. I'm headed for the butter.
This is how bad she is at eating. Not that I'm any better, but believe me, she's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, okay, another good thing is that in front of her she has a tray of entuntunu.
Thank you so much for that. So a few weeks ago, I had tweeted asking if berries grow in Uganda. Because I always see so much great fruit in Uganda. There's mangoes, there's, passion fruit, there's
All the
bananas,
big
of
fruits
course,
that make
etc. Yeah. What? So big fruits make more sense?
Of course they do. Where am I going to go through a
Of
garden
course they do.
picking entuntunu?
Oh my goodness, it's a
Entuntunu
joy.
grows wild in Uganda. We don't, okay, nowadays I don't know what they're doing, but we never used to go out and plant a whole field of entuntunu.
Well, I think that Ugandans underappreciate berries because
Correct, because they are small little things. We left that stage of being hunter-gatherer.
Yes.
Yeah, so gatherers used to eat berries as they were hunting. We left that alone, went into agriculture, started growing matoke and pawpaws and pineapples and big fruits that you can actually have a whole meal.
Which
You're
is
not going to
great,
have a whole
Simon.
meal with entuntunu.
But you can. That's the thing. And in saying
Yes,
you go
could.
into agriculture, like in Canada, I worked at a farm for a couple of summers, and we grew strawberries, and we had rows of strawberry bushes, and you would just sit there and pick the strawberries off, and they're all right clustered together. It's not like I have to go on a day-long hike to find the
The
berries.
thing about strawberries that I always found surprising in Uganda, when we started growing strawberries, the first time I saw strawberries in Uganda was like maybe 15 years ago. My mom plants and grows everything and anything. She's tried everything there is. The strawberries were not as sweet as they were in other countries until we worked out the soils, the what, the this, the that. Now you get sweeter strawberries in Uganda. Grown in Uganda. But then, the truth of the matter is that strawberries are not the sweetest fruit that exists out there. For guys in the UK and America, those are the sweetest fruits they've got. That's why they treat them with so much respect.
Yeah, true.
In Uganda, we have stuff like fene. I'd eat a tray of fene any time over strawberry.
Oh, so
in my
good.
car right now, I have 4 trays of fene.
Really?
Yep.
And you didn't bring any for me?
I brought you the berries. madam,
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, why don't we meet in the skies? Meeting in the skies.
Another highlight of my week. I visited Soroti
Oh,
last week, yes,
Okay.
to inspect a fruit factory, a
Really?
fruit processing factory, and to talk to fruit farmers. Man,
what's it like up there?
fantastic. It's
Yeah.
always been fantastic. They grow, anyway, mangoes grow great everywhere in this country. But in Soroti, they've worked out a way of, many of the farmers have worked out a way of, growing on a small piece of land, mangoes, oranges, a bit of grain, sorghum or millet, and then keeping a couple of animals that then creates an ecosystem where the animal droppings and the water goes into, making the soil more fertile for the plants to grow, big and large, and the fruits to really expand. Then the waste from the fruits, the leaves create a good mulch. They're feeding the animals, and the ecosystem is superb. But then the yields are so great, and the fruit is pulpy, sweet. I went with a guy from Kenya, one of my workmates, he couldn't believe it when we stopped by the roadside. I bought him a mango and made him eat that mango. He was beside himself with joy. He could not believe the taste of this mango. Where is he from? Kenya. Just
Oh, yeah.
across the border. And they're growing mangoes in Kenya as well. But you see, in Kenya, you're not going to be driving down the road and find a random woman with mangoes, and they taste as good as you find over here. You know how even through Kampala, there's women with baskets. You stop and buy a mango from them. I do this maybe 3 times a week. 1,000 shillings mango, 1,500 if I want a really big one. Never been disappointed, not even once, in all the years I've lived in this country.
So you know what else happened this past week? There was Harvest Money Expo,
Yes.
which I was very excited about. I've crossed paths with Robert Kabushenga a few times, and he was talking about farming like every single time I saw him. So I got excited and I thought, okay, I really need to go to this thing.
You attended?
No, I wasn't feeling that well, right?
come
But you know what I
on.
did? I sent 2 of the stuff from my house. The 2 I have. I don't have like a million stuff. But anyway, and I paid for their entry, and I said, come back and tell me what you think
Good
we can
job,
do
good
here.
job, good job.
So they came back, and we have a little bit of a very small patch of land kind of behind the house. This
Seen
is
it?
And then the problem is, we haven't quite figured out how to make it productive. So I said, what can we do on this in this land? And they said, well, Auntie Anne, you see, we have monkeys. And our monkeys eat everything that we plant there before it grows. So we can't grow anything. But maybe we could have, one of my house staff was very excited about getting goats. And I don't know if it's because apparently goats make you a billionaire in Uganda.
I wish that were the case.
Right, but we're considering goats. But again, the goats eat anything else that's there. Then we thought about trees. Maybe if we can put up some more orange trees or mango trees or these kinds of things, we could put it back there.
Yeah, you could do that, but then I'm sure they've got very many good ideas. Of course, the monkeys are still a problem if you plant fruit trees because they will eat those fruits. With monkeys, we have monkeys on our farm in Hoima, baboons,
Okay.
as well as other monkeys. Yeah, big problem. But we've got a guy whose job is simply to chase these monkeys and baboons.
Really?
That's his job.
What a life.
I'm talking about herds of baboons.
Whoa.
Yeah, big
That would be
swarms
scary.
of monkeys. They can be, yeah, but this guy, that's his job. So that's all he does. At one time, he even captured a baboon and kept it for 6 months waiting for me to go and release it.
What? Why?
He's that kind of guy. So eventually I went over and said, here, release the damn thing. Stop. Don't even touch monkeys, please. Leave them alone. By the end of the day, it's an ecosystem kind of thing. And you have to find a way of sharing the land with these animals.
Yeah.
I have land in Wakiso district, a place called Namayumba. On my piece of land, I've got 2 very large pythons. They've been there for the last 10 years. Yeah. I took a snake. I've taken a snake handler. I've taken the guys from the Uganda Wildlife Authority. And they went and they said, yeah, we can tell that they're pythons. Yeah, but what do you want us to do? Because this is their ecosystem. This
Right,
is their land.
right.
We found them here.
Yeah.
So we made our peace. We've given them their corner. We're tilling on ours. I've just told the workers, don't get killed.
Hey guys, why don't we meet in the skies? Meeting in the skies.
Discovery of the week.
So, so another thing that happened to me, which happened mostly online, I put out a tweet asking for some Ugandan proverbs. Oh, I got so many
Would
responses.
you believe I didn't see this?
Wow, you should check
I'd
it out.
have generally finished with Proverbs.
Well, I've just started,
As
Simon.
in traditional local proverbs?
Yes.
In vernacular or local languages?
Yes.
Wow.
So some of them I still haven't figured out what
Which
they
one
mean.
do you remember that you haven't figured out? Let's
Well,
see
I
what
have
one-
no, I have a few here. Gonna be Luganda, so I apologize ahead of time for how badly this will
We
sound.
forgive you. We speak English.
Abanji babi kulia balunji murimu.
Abanji.
Babi kulia
Babi.
balunji mirimu. Apparently, it means a crowd is bad for eating but good for work.
Abanji babi mukulia.
Hey, babi mukulia. So what I got was missing the mu part.
No, I'm thinking because that's what it sounds like. Balunji kumulimu, and they are good when it comes to work. Okay, that's interesting. Read me another.
Oh, there's so many here. Let me see. Okay, another Luganda one.
Are they all in Luganda?
No, I got some other ones, but
Okay.
I don't have them all in front of me.
Okay.
Okay. Abali awamu tebalema. Oh my
Tebalema?
goodness, this is going all wrong.
No, you're good. Tebalema
Kuyomba.
kuyomba. Abali awamu tebalema kuyomba.
People who live together cannot fail to have quarrels.
Yes, cannot fail to have quarrels or arguments. You know what? One fresh idea every podcast, okay, is going to go along with a Luganda proverb or a Ugandan proverb.
There's
okay?
many.
So this week's proverb is, what's the first one?
Vanji babi mukulia balonji mulimu.
Balunji mulimu. Okay, that's this week's. And you need to work on your Luganda.
Guys,
You can learn any language if you put your mind to it and practice.
You know, there was a time in Toronto after I'd been living in Uganda for a year and a half, and I went back to do my master's. I went to a Ugandan restaurant and kind
In
of
Toronto?
Yeah, in Toronto there was
Whoa.
a special Ugandan restaurant, and they had luambo and all of this kind of stuff. I had one Ugandan friend, so we were off like socializing with the Ugandan Toronto community. And I would say something like, "Oh, Jebale Kosebo" or something, and they'd get so excited, and then they'd feel ashamed sometimes, and they'd say, "You know, I'm Ugandan, but I don't actually speak Luganda. I don't know what this means."
Yeah, but that person's very Ugandan, but not a Muganda. Okay, listen, since you've brought this up, let's do the explaining Uganda thing for this week. Your question was,
So I had this thought. It's been with me for some time as I move around Uganda. I often have this strange situation where I see a couple of men I don't know talking to each other. Sebo, blah, 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 blah. And then they look at me as I pass and they say, "Hello, Mazungu!" And they raise their voice to this very high tone, and I think, what is that about? Why is it that they are raising their voice so high to talk to me? Simon, can you please explain this?
okay, first of all, I don't know who these people are because
It happens
do I do
all
it?
the time.
Do I do it?
No, but it's
course I don't.
usually strangers
Yeah, usually strangers, strange people.
or just people on
Okay,
the
but
street.
I guess the easy explanation for that is people tend to take on the tone, intonation, characteristic, style of the environment they're in.
Okay,
So
that's
when you
true.
walk in, you, strange as you are, you kind of will change these people's tone, intonation. They'll speak like that because they think you'll understand better. Yeah. And the feedback, the reason I said let's talk about it now is because I got some people to listen to the podcast last week. And one person in particular, this was on Saturday or at some event, one person in particular said, "Yeah, by the way, Anne Whitehead, yeah? Why does she speak like that?" And I said, "What? How does she speak?"
How do I speak? Tell
And
me.
then she said, she tries too hard to sound Ugandan. Why does she change her accent and start sounding Uganda? I said, "Nah, she doesn't do that."
A
Yeah,
lot of
she
people
does.
say- a
I
lot
said,
of
"No,
people
she
say that."
doesn't do that." Wait, it gets worse. So we have a small argument, and she calls up two friends, and they say, "Yeah, we had that chick. Yes."
Jeez.
So you see, even you do it without realizing.
Yeah.
Those guys, I don't think they deliberately will change their tone of voice, but they just feel like you will understand. It actually made me think, maybe when I'm talking to you, I talk in a certain way. I know, for instance, when I was much younger, my grandmother, Jaja Nambas, she spoke only Luganda. We
Yeah.
didn't know Luganda. So whenever we go to visit her, we loved her like no man's business. But we knew, you're not going to speak English and get through to her. She's speaking Luganda, she can't speak English, she can't get through to you. So both of us found a way of talking, until we learned enough words to speak to each other in our languages. Of course, we learned more Luganda than she did English.
You know what? I have a blog all on this subject at whiteheadcommunications.com. It's titled "Can We Say It As We Feel It Foi?" And it's all about how the way that you speak kind
one
of
of my favorite
changes.
words.
Yeah, foi. One I've learned here in Kampala. I've been, should I say, accused of this many, many times. And I studied it in actually when I came back from Uganda the first time, because all my friends are Ugandan, my voice had kind of shifted and I was sounding a bit more Ugandan. And my mother freaked out and she was like, why do you sound this way, you know? And so I slowly tried to adjust. The thing is, from when I was a child, like my parents had different accents than the town where we grew up, and I would go from country to country and my accent would kind of shift.
Yeah.
And I remember once that I was speaking the same way I usually kind of do when I start to articulate things a bit more. I was in Canada and I was speaking with a Chinese foreign student, and the person beside me said, "Why do you sound Chinese?" Which I didn't think I was sounding Chinese at all. I was just trying to
it's a chameleon effect. We need to Google it. But I tell you the funniest part.
be understood, you know?
Two of the chicks who were saying, yeah, she changed her. Said, yeah, but you guys sound British. So what the hell here?
And honestly, I don't think that I'm trying to sound Ugandan at all, but I read this, you said you were going to Google what it is. It's called accommodation theory, or that's what I studied in my master's. So accommodation theory is, it happens on micro levels everywhere, where kids in school will start picking up the phrasing of their friends, or, you know, if you're in a certain working environment, there's something I've read about called like speaking white, or passing as white, where someone who has maybe Ebonics kind of African American way of speaking will start sounding very different, more white, when they are calling for a job interview or something like that. So people do it all the time, but it's mostly natural, I think.
It's not deliberate. You don't get up and say, let me go and do this.
But some people do it more than others. Like I know a guy, he's been in Uganda as long as I have, but he still sounds so Canadian, more Canadian than I have ever sounded in my life.
So who does that guy talk to? Who does he hang out with?
Well, he's very much in the expat circle, as they say.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know guys like that as well. Guys who, they've come in from another country, don't talk to Ugandans in general.
Yeah, they're not receptive.
They just stay within their
adapt.
own circles, yes.
Exactly.
So that's a big difference. And those guys, cut them some slack. They're just trying to make you comfortable.
Hey guys, why don't we meet in the skies? Meeting in the skies.
What was the traffic in your life?
The traffic in my life was traffic. Hey, Monday was incredible. Thing is, remember it said
Always
raining
is.
at 4:26 a.m. I know this for sure. Because I woke up at 4:23 and it's going to rain. And 3 minutes later,
Wow, I should hire you.
listen.
Just to predict the weather.
I will. Well, 3 minutes before it was kind of obvious. We'd been waiting for it from the night before.
Yeah.
But then 30 minutes later, I said, oh, the traffic is going to be crazy.
Oh, terrible.
But my schedule didn't need me to come into town so early, so I did whatever I needed to do. Then I came into town. I cursed that. It took me 2 hours to get from Parliamentary Avenue to the Oasis Mall roundabout. 2 hours.
Simon, do you ever just ditch your car and take a boda? Because
No, I don't. Because I planned my movements. I knew the traffic was going to be crazy. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but I knew it would be terrible. I had my refreshments in the car, made sure I didn't drink too much, because I could have gotten out, walked into the mall, used the toilet, come back, and still been in the same place, but I didn't want to do that. I had snacks. I had a bunch of podcasts. Radio is functioning right. Enough fuel in the car. I was okay. But that's because I planned. I saw many people ditching their cars by the side of the road. I saw a friend of mine walking through the traffic and called him up. Hey, what's up? He says, man, I'm looking for so-and-so. Have you seen his car? I said, no. What? I said, yeah, I've been waiting for him, and decided, let me just walk here.
And did your friend just pass you and walk along and you're still sitting there in traffic?
You know, he didn't come back. He went looking for the other guy. I don't know when they were going to have a meeting in the car. This happens. But the traffic was ridiculous, not just because everyone pulled their car out for the rain. It's because of bad driving.
Yeah.
It's always bad driving.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday morning, same thing happened. Now this time I was going straight into town. I got to this point where some idiot again blocked traffic. It's incredibly stupid.
So I've noticed this about Kampala traffic, and I guess we're still taking this literally, yeah?
Yeah, today Kampala traffic is
The
literal.
biggest bother in our lives really is actual traffic in Kampala. So I've noticed that there's a right-of-way issue in this country, and I wonder if it's...
People don't understand the concept of right of way.
I think there's people don't understand the concept of equity or social responsibility.
Those are big words. Don't even try.
Okay, anyway. But the types of cars and there's always this thing that happens where the cars are all stopped in a line and one car decides to get out of the line and create a second line and go along, and then at some point they get to a point where the traffic coming the other way is head to head with them.
That's one of the biggest problems.
And there's
yes.
nothing they can do, and so everything stops. And I have to admit, when I see this happen, often it is those expensive cars. It's the cars with blue and red license plates, and it seems to reflect a sense of self-importance.
Self-importance, some stupid level of entitlement. But look, for me, it's not even about the number plate. It's just stupid Ugandans, and I call them stupid all the time. I like to take photographs and tweet them to shame them, because many times I hope that somebody's daughter or son is going to see their dad's number plate and say, "Daddy, how could you do this?" Mm-hmm. I used to have a driver. I used to employ drivers because I had a case of road rage for a while, and I always told my drivers, never, ever do that nonsense. If I'm late, I'm late. I'll tell the person I'm supposed to meet that I just never do that nonsense. Also because if you go and skip a lane, or you're crisscrossing, you're driving badly, you're not being considerate of other road users, the person seeing that car knows me.
Yeah.
So it's me they're thinking about, not you, the driver.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, we, with a Land Rover Uganda club, I'm a Land Rover owner and driver and enthusiast, we launched a road safety campaign, which is hinged around being more considerate as road users.
Yeah.
And this week we're getting the Uganda police to endorse that campaign. So
Good.
hopefully we're going to see a change on these roads.
But how? I mean, this is a
By
huge
changing
problem.
our behavior. It's all about us individuals. So if all of us tell everybody else, listen guys, let's not do this. Yesterday I was very happy. I was going down Impala Avenue. That's the road from the Kololo airstrip going down to the bypass, where Katikati is. And there's a small turn off on the left if you're going to go down that avenue, Rotary
in
Avenue.
Behind the gas station and
The
whatever.
Koko bypass.
Yeah.
No. The gas station, Samaritan. The Shell is on your right hand side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're turning left at the DHL, the new DHL offices.
Okay. Yeah.
So we got to that point. There was a Discovery behind me. I'm in a Discovery as well, Land Rover, and I could have jumped onto the pavement to join that road and go left, but that would have been inconsiderate to anyone who was possibly going to be on the pavement. There was no one on the pavement, but I made it a point to stay on the road, and I was very pleased that the Land Rover guy behind me also indicated and stayed on the road. The car behind him was a very impatient premium that wanted to climb on, guys hooted a little bit, but his car was too low to climb up the pavement. So we waited until the lights released the cars in front of us, and then we turned left. Nice, considerate road use, allowing pedestrians to use their pedestrian pathway proper. We can build that society, we can build that community.
Well, I have to say, I've been in some of these, high status cars, and I've seen the driver do these kinds of things, and it drives me crazy, though I haven't been in the position to tell them not to. But there's been two situations. One, when I was with, I guess I can say Patrick Bidature, and he refused to do that. No, I'm going to sit in this traffic. It's fine. I'm just like everybody else. And I really appreciated that. And the other was this high-ranking army official who had the same opinion. He said, no, I believe in order. This is the way it's supposed to be.
You know what? 3 weeks ago, General Coretta, we were going for an event at Parliament. The President was opening the East African Legislative Assembly meeting, and the traffic was crazy. General Coretta got out of his car. I was walking as well. I parked my car at the Serena. He got out of his car and walked. Not a short distance, because he couldn't stand the traffic, but he wasn't going to get his soldiers to come out and, create access and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then, no.
Yeah, and
Like,
I
it's fine,
respect
I'll
that.
walk. Those are gentlemen.
See, I think there is this privilege issue in many, many different ways, and right-of-way is another one. And when you can recognize your privilege and decide not to take it and to serve the community in a way that makes sense and is good for everyone, then that's how our world gets better.
Correct. It shows you don't have the insecurities that make the world a terrible place.
Hey guys, why don't we meet in the skies? Meeting in the skies.
So I think now we're going to the last segment, meme of the week. Yeah.
You know, Simon, I think the last few times, Flo and I, and we've missed Flo this
Oh
time,
yeah, Flo,
unfortunately.
poor girl.
Yeah,
She's sick.
yeah,
she's
she's not
claiming
feeling
she's sick. We're finding her.
Yeah, but we've been up on this meme thing, and I have to admit I haven't been on the meme thing this week. But I want to hear what your meme is.
Okay, there was one big story across the continent. Jacob Zuma resigned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And everybody went crazy with Zuma jokes, Zuma memes. And a few of them were funny. For me, I was just tired of him. But...
I know what it's going to be. Go
no,
ahead.
you don't. You don't.
Oh?
You can't even guess. Okay, try.
They did it. Are we going to do it?
No.
Did it?
No. That one actually bores me.
Oh?
I even heard a Mama Mbabazi saying this and I was quite embarrassed. But anyway, that one's boring.
All right,
No,
all right.
what happened was these memes go around, and my managing director at Coca-Cola, Conrad, great guy, is from South Africa. Though he's now Ugandan in many ways. He kept giggling at the memes, and one day he said, who does this? How do people find the time to do this? And I said, it's people who create the time to do it because it's fun. How? Why are they doing it without even being paid? I said, because it's fun. And he said, I don't believe you. And I said, okay, I'll show you. And a day later, I found 5 minutes and made my own Zuma meme.
You have a meme. Oh,
Yes,
show
I
us,
have
show
a Zuma
us.
meme.
My goodness.
Which I didn't send everywhere because many times it's not necessary. This one was rather private. So I did a Zuma meme and I put him in it. And I sent
Just
it
to
to
show
and
him.
Yeah, he was really, really tickled by it. And then I also did one for another member of the team.
Oh, so you're the
She's-
resident meme maker now.
It's one of my favorite pastimes. Make a meme. I
Okay.
don't care what's happening, just make a meme. So that's the one I made for Conrad. He's into golf. So
Ish, even Conrad isn't calling me for golf. What a drama!
and that's one of
With
his favorite
face
statements.
there.
What a drama. So with Zuma right there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that became my meme of the week this week.
Well done. That's inspiring, Simon. I should start to make memes.
You should, it's a lot of fun.
Well, looking out over Kampala, seeing all of the cars stuck on all of these roads right now as the sun is about to set, I'm thinking I might even be able to just, stop long enough to make a meme on the way home.
I look forward to seeing your meme.
Well, thanks, Simon. It's always good to see you. I look forward to seeing
Thank you,
Flo
and I want to
again.
report, ladies and gentlemen, that Anne has only eaten 1.5 of her 3 buns and like 16 tuntunu. So let's wish her luck in her weight gain program. We're going to talk about that one day.
All right, next time.
That has been this week's episode. Thanks to the Skies Hotel Naguru. For more interesting couples, please tune in to Meeting in the Skies next week. See you then.